Men, tell me this. Why do so many of you feel like prisoners in your own homes? Why do you work yourself to the bone, sacrifice everything for your family, yet come home to coldness, distance, and contempt? Why do you keep apologizing for things you didn't do, bending over backward to fix problems that don't even exist, while the woman you love treats you like you're never enough? And here's the real question. Why do you feel more alone in your marriage than you ever did when you were single? This is not weakness. This is not bad luck. And it sure as hell isn't your imagination. Right now, millions of men are trapped in relationships that are slowly killing them, without a single bruise to prove it. No broken bones, no black eyes, just invisible wounds. Shame, doubt, silence, and a slow death of everything that once made you a man. And here's the cruelest truth. Society will never believe you, because men are always painted as the villains and women as the victims. But what if that story is a lie? What if the most dangerous kind of violence you'll ever face isn't physical at all, but psychological? What if the real scars aren't on your body, but on your soul? Today, I'm going to expose the hidden weapons women use to break men down. The tactics, the manipulation, the systematic destruction no one dares to talk about. And if you think you're safe, you're not. Because it always starts the same way. Sweet, caring, loving. That's how they draw you in. That's how they build the cage you won't even notice until the door locks behind you and you realize you're already trapped. Let me show you what this looks like in real life, because it never begins with cruelty. It begins with sweetness. It begins with love. It begins with the kind of tenderness that makes you believe you've finally found the one. That's how it always starts, and that's why so many men never see the trap until it's already snapped shut. I once worked with a man who had it all. 60 years old, a successful executive, built a company from the ground up, raised a family, did everything by the book. He was respected. He was strong. He thought he had made it. But inside his own home, behind the walls he paid for, he was living like a ghost. His wife hadn't spoken a single word to him in over 3 years. Think about that. 3 years in the same house, the same bed. And she acted like he didn't even exist. He timed his steps, so he only came out of his room when she left for work. He ate alone. He bought his own food. And in the place he built, he was nothing more than a shadow. How does it get to that point? It doesn't happen overnight. It happens piece by piece. First, she didn't like his friends. They're a bad influence. They don't respect me. It's them or me. So, he chose her. That's what good husbands do, right? Then it was his hobbies. Fishing is childish. Golf is a waste of money. You should spend more time with family. So, he gave those up too. Then it was his family. Your brother is toxic. Your mother doesn't like me. We need boundaries. And before he realized what had happened, he was completely isolated. No friends, no hobbies, no family, just her. And the second she knew he had no one left but her, she dropped the mask. She stopped pretending. She didn't need to anymore. Here's the cruelest twist. The house he worked his entire life for, the home he built with his blood, sweat, and sacrifice, it wasn't even his anymore. He had signed it over to be refinancing right before retirement, putting everything in her name because that's what loving husbands are told to do. Now he's trapped. If he leaves, he's homeless at 60. If he stays, he's dying inside. He hasn't touched his wife in more than a decade. He hasn't had a conversation with her in 3 years. This man, who built an empire, who stood tall in the world, can't even sit down for dinner in his own kitchen. That is psychological violence. And here's what most men don't understand. This kind of abuse is invisible. When a man throws a punch, everyone sees the bruise. When a woman wages psychological war, there's nothing to point to. No black eye, no broken arm, just the slow, invisible suffocation of a man's soul. She looks like the saint. You look like the crazy one. She cries in public, playing the victim. You suffer in silence, branded as the villain. And if you ever break, if you ever raise your voice, if you ever punch a wall in desperation, suddenly the story flips. You're the abuser, and she's proven right. So how do they do it? They use weapons you can't see, and once you recognize them, you'll never unsee them. The first weapon is guilt. Everything is always your fault. She's unhappy? You're not romantic enough. She's bored? You're not exciting enough. She cheats? Somehow you drove her to it. You end up trapped in an endless cycle of apologizing for crimes you didn't commit, taking responsibility for problems that don't even exist. I worked with a brilliant programmer, a man who made serious money. His wife convinced him he was a sex addict who needed therapy. Why? Because he wanted sex more than once a month. She turned his natural, healthy desire into a sickness. You're obsessed with sex. You only see me as an object. You need help. Now he's sitting in therapy, convinced he's broken, while she doles out scraps of intimacy like rewards to a dog. That's not love. That's control. The second weapon is isolation, and it's genius in its subtlety. She never says, "You can't see your friends." No, that would be too obvious. Instead, every time you plan to go out, there's a fight. Not about going out, about something else. The trash you forgot last week, a comment you made 2 months ago. She times it perfectly. You leave late, you're stressed, you cancel. After a while, your friends stop inviting you. He's whipped, she's on his back. They drift away, and she never once had to forbid anything. Then, once you're alone, she turns it into romance. We don't need anyone else. It's you and me against the world. Nobody understands us like we understand each other. At first, it sounds beautiful, but soon you realize it's not love. It's a leash. You're completely alone, and she's the one holding the chain. The third weapon is humiliation disguised as humor. She cuts you down in front of others, but always with a smile. Oh, he's trying to lose weight again. Yeah, his little business idea didn't work out. Or she makes jokes about your salary, your hairline, even your performance in bed. Everyone laughs awkwardly while you sit there dying inside. And here's the trap. If you get angry, you're the guy who can't take a joke. If you walk out, you're the dramatic one, ruining the evening. So, you sit there and shrink, while the people around you watch you crumble, and she gets away with it because it looks harmless. The fourth weapon is sex, not as love, not as intimacy, but as currency. Do what she wants. Maybe you'll get lucky. Disagree with her. Prepare for a dry spell. Want to see your friends? I'm not in the mood. Cancel your plans for her? Come to bed, baby. She trains you like a dog, rewarding obedience and punishing defiance. And the cruelest part is that men convince themselves it's normal. I once counseled a man married for 15 years who hadn't touched his wife in 3, not because he didn't want to, but because the goalpost kept moving. Lose 20 pounds, make more money, spend more time at home, plan more dates, be more spontaneous. Every time he met one demand, another took its place. The truth? The goal was never sex. The goal was control. The fifth weapon is money, but not the way you think. She doesn't need your passwords when she can shame you into spending. Sarah's husband bought her a Tesla. My sister's family goes to Europe every summer. I guess I'm just not worth a nice ring. So you work harder. You grind yourself down trying to provide the lifestyle she demands. And if you can't, you're a failure. If you can, you're neglecting your family. You can't win, because winning was never part of the plan. And finally, the nuclear weapon. Children. You'll never see your kids again. I'll tell them what you really are. They'll grow up knowing Daddy didn't love them enough to stay. That's the line. That's the dagger. And it works, because every father knows the truth. Men almost never get custody. She knows you'll walk through hell just to be close to your kids. And that's why she can treat you however she wants, with zero fear of consequence. I'll never forget the contractor who told me his wife said this to his face. I can treat you however I want, because if you leave, I get the house, the kids, and half your income for the next 15 years. So shut up and deal with it. And the sickest part? She was right. The legal system, designed to protect women from abusive men, becomes another weapon in her arsenal. Now let's talk about the weapon that destroys a man from the inside out. Gaslighting. This one is so subtle, so poisonous, it makes you question your own mind. I never said that. You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. That didn't happen. At first, you argue. At first, you're sure of what you heard, what you saw, what you felt. But over time, you begin to doubt yourself. Did she really say that? Maybe I did overreact. Maybe I am too sensitive. Slowly, you stop trusting your memory, your judgment, your instincts. And she knows exactly what she's doing. She rewrites history every single day. And because she's sharper with words, more emotionally skilled, she wins. You start to believe her version of reality. The cruel insult from last week? She says it never happened. The promise she broke? You misunderstood. The boundary you set? Suddenly, you're controlling. Until finally, you're the villain in every story. And the most terrifying part? You start to believe it. The eighth weapon is emotional terrorism. This isn't a fight. It's psychological hostage-taking. She threatens suicide if you leave. She has panic attacks if you disagree. She collapses in hysterics whenever you set a boundary. And suddenly, you're not living for yourself anymore. You're living to manage her emotions. You walk on eggshells, terrified of triggering another breakdown. Your needs? They don't exist. Your goals? Gone. Your life? Put on hold. I knew a doctor whose wife had full-blown panic attacks every time he tried to attend a professional conference, hyperventilating, shaking, sobbing. Except it only ever happened when he was about to leave for his own independence. He hasn't gone to a conference in 5 years. His career is stuck. His opportunities are gone. But hey, at least she's stable. She's chained his future to her convenient meltdowns. The ninth weapon is the victim flip, and it's pure mastery. She pushes you, needles you, provokes you for days, weeks, months. She digs at your deepest insecurities. She pokes until you snap. And when you finally lose it, when you yell, when you slam a door, when you punch a wall, she plays the victim. She cries. She shakes. She points at you and says, "See? You're abusive." All the hours of her manipulation vanish, and the only thing that remains is your reaction. Now she has proof. Maybe she even calls the cops. And tell me, who do you think they'll believe? Then comes the most addictive weapon of all: intermittent reinforcement. The cruelest psychological game ever discovered. One day, she's loving, sexual, supportive. She's the woman you fell in love with, and your brain lights up. You think, finally, things are getting better. Then, just as fast, she rips it away. Cold, distant, cruel. You're left desperate, begging, chasing that high. It's not weakness, it's chemical addiction. Your brain becomes hooked on those rare crumbs of affection. You'll endure months of hell just for one day of sweetness, telling yourself it's improving, telling yourself she's changing. But she's not. It's a calculated cycle designed to keep you chained. As if that wasn't enough, some women unleash medical manipulation, mysterious illnesses that only appear when you try to live your own life. A migraine when you want to visit your parents, stomach problems when your friends invite you out, a bad back when you suggest she gets a job. These symptoms feel real to her, but they're born from her subconscious, perfectly timed to trap you. You become her nurse, her caretaker, her servant, and guilt locks you in. What kind of monster leaves a sick partner? That's the line that keeps you stuck. And yet, when she wants to shop, when her friends call, when she's doing something she enjoys, suddenly the symptoms disappear. But if you dare point it out, you're accused of being cold, heartless, unloving. She's not just using your loyalty against you, she's weaponizing your compassion. Then there's spiritual manipulation. She wraps her control in the language of morality and faith. God wants you to be a better husband. The universe is telling me you need to change. My intuition says you're lying. She crowns herself the moral authority, the spiritual guide, the enlightened one. And you? You're the sinner, the broken one, the toxic masculine energy. Your needs, your perspective, your truth, they don't matter because they're low vibration. She's not just controlling you, she's rewriting your moral compass so that every road leads back to her. But here's the sickest twist of all. Society helps her do it. Try telling someone your wife is abusing you. Watch their face. They'll laugh. They'll assume you're weak or lying, or that you're just flipping the script. Men's shelters? Almost non-existent. Support groups for abused men? Nearly impossible to find. Everything is built for women as victims, men as villains. That's the only narrative society allows. I'll never forget the business owner who came to me after trying to report his wife's abuse. She had been hitting him for years, throwing things, smashing his property. He finally called the police. And do you know what they did? They laughed. Literally laughed. "What do you want us to do? Arrest your wife? Man up." That's what they told him. But when she called the cops on him, after he grabbed her wrist to stop her from hitting him with a lamp, guess what happened? He spent the night in jail. He had defensive wounds all over his arms. She had no marks at all. But still, they arrested him. And don't think therapy will save you. Couples counseling? It becomes another stage for her performance. She charms the therapist, plays the victim, and suddenly the whole session is about fixing your anger issues. Now you're paying someone to reinforce her lies. Even individual therapy isn't much better. Try finding a therapist who takes male victims seriously. Most have been trained with one script. Men are abusers, women are victims. End of story. And you're left doubting yourself even more, trapped in a system that was never built to protect you. So what do you do if this feels familiar? First, you need to know the truth. This is not your fault. You're not weak. You're not crazy. You are being systematically broken down by someone who knows exactly what they're doing. That fog in your head, that confusion, that self-doubt, that's not stupidity. That's the effect of sustained psychological torture. Second, you must document everything. Every threat, every manipulation, every lie. Not because anyone will believe you, they won't, but because you need a record for yourself. Proof that you're not losing your mind. Third, you need to rebuild your support system, carefully, in secret. She isolated you for a reason. Other people are reality checks. Start reaching back out to old friends. Make new ones she doesn't know about. You need people who remind you of who you were before she broke you. And fourth, get your finances in order. Quietly. Open a new bank account. Start saving. Track every asset. Prepare for war while hoping for peace. But even with preparation, here's the hardest truth. Leaving may cost you everything. Your house, your money, even your children. She will drag your name through the mud. She'll tell everyone you're abusive. She'll turn your kids against you. She'll try to take every dollar, every asset, every ounce of dignity you have left. And maybe she'll succeed. But here's the one thing you cannot let her take: yourself. Because once that's gone, there's nothing left. This is the brutal reality. The woman you fell in love with does not exist. She was an act, a role she played to pull you in. That sweetness in the beginning, that warmth, that affection, that wasn't real. That was bait. The real her is the one who isolates you, the one who controls you, the one who diminishes you day by day until you forget who you were. The laughter, the intimacy, the good moments, they were never love. They were the mask. The abuse is the reality. And I know what some of you are thinking right now. Not me. My situation is different. She's not that bad. That's what every single victim says. That's what I once told myself. That's what every man believes. Until one day, he wakes up at 60, sitting alone in a room, too scared to eat dinner at his own kitchen table. Others of you are thinking, but I love her. Maybe I can fix this. Let me be clear. You cannot fix someone who doesn't believe they're broken. In her mind, everything is working perfectly. She has complete control. You bend, you break, you sacrifice, you crawl. And if you're unhappy, that's not her problem. That's your problem to solve. By serving her harder. The game is rigged, and the only way to win is to stop playing. But here's the catch. Stopping means admitting the unthinkable. Admitting you are being abused by a woman. And most men would rather die than face that truth. Pride keeps you chained. Ego keeps you silent. The fear of looking weak keeps you locked in a cage that's already killing you. Your pride is the weapon she doesn't even need to wield, because you're using it against yourself. I know these words cut deep. I know they go against everything you've been taught about relationships, about women, about masculinity itself. But someone has to say it. Women can be just as cruel, just as manipulative, just as destructive as men. They just do it differently. They hide it better. They use society's blind spots, the legal system, and your own emotions as weapons. And sometimes, the scars they leave are worse than any bruise or broken bone, because bruises fade. Psychological scars can last a lifetime. If you're in this right now, you are not alone. Millions of men are silently enduring the exact same hell, convinced they're the only ones, convinced they're weak, convinced it's their fault. It's not. You are not weak for being manipulated by someone you loved and trusted. You are not stupid for not seeing it sooner. You are not crazy for feeling trapped in a nightmare no one else can see. You are a victim of psychological warfare. And the first step to freedom is saying those words out loud. I am being abused. So let me ask you, how much more of your life are you willing to give away? How many more years will you spend walking on eggshells in your own home? How many more nights will you lay awake trying to figure out what you did wrong, when the truth is you did nothing wrong at all? How much more of yourself will you lose before you finally say enough? You get one life, one shot, and right now you're wasting it inside a prison disguised as a marriage. That's not love. That's not partnership. That's a hostage situation. And deep down, you know it's true. The only question left is this: what are you going to do about it? Here's the reality. Most of you will do nothing. You'll finish this video, nod your head, feel a flash of recognition, maybe even anger. And then you'll push it down. You'll go back to your cage. Because leaving is terrifying. Because starting over feels impossible. Because you keep telling yourself, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe tomorrow will be better. But it won't. Tomorrow will be the same as today, and the day after that, and the day after that. Until one day, you'll look in the mirror and realize you're the broken man you swore you'd never become. But a few of you, just a few, will hear this as the wake-up call it's meant to be. You'll realize you're not crazy, you're not weak, you're not alone. You'll begin to plan your escape, and it will be the hardest thing you've ever done. You will lose things you never imagined losing. Money, assets, maybe even your children. But in the end, you'll win back something priceless. You. The choice is yours. Stay in hell with the devil you know, or take the risk and fight for your freedom. Just remember, every day you stay is one more day you will never get back. Every day you accept the abuse is another day you've chosen slavery over sovereignty. And one day, you'll run out of days. Stop letting her gaslight you into thinking you're the problem. Stop letting society shame you into silence. Stop letting fear keep you paralyzed. You deserve better. You deserve peace. You deserve respect. You deserve love that doesn't come with conditions, manipulation, or control. But you'll never get it as long as you stay chained to someone who feeds on your pain. The clock is ticking. Your life is slipping away. And she's counting on you being too tired, too broken, too scared to leave. Prove her wrong.